What almost nobody says plainly about the phrase battle-proven is that it only has meaning once a rifle is pushed beyond comfort. Reliability is not a clean shooting bay, perfect lighting, and a handful of magazines for a thumbnail. It shows itself when oil thickens in freezing temperatures, when carbon stacks up until the action feels rough, when rain becomes mud, and the surroundings are actively trying to stop the rifle from functioning. That is the space we are in right now. 8 rifle platforms, 8 very different engineering approaches, and one common result. When conditions turn bad, these rifles continue to run as if that was always their purpose. The Zastava ZPAP M70 sets the tone immediately because it makes no attempt to be light or polished. This is a rifle centered on heavy steel and mechanical simplicity. Chambered in 7.62 by 39 with a 16.3-inch cold hammer forged barrel and a chrome-lined bore, it carries real mass, and that mass is intentional. The M70 uses a 1.5mm receiver and the well-known bulged front trunnion, reinforcing the areas where AK rifles absorb the most stress from heat and pressure. The long-stroke gas piston system has decades of global service behind it, and Zastava chooses to preserve that formula rather than chase modern changes that compromise strength. In the current market, ZPAP M70 variants usually fall in the approximately $1,300 to $1,600 range, depending on configuration and availability. The trigger can feel rough, and the rifle is undeniably heavy, but that is the exchange being made. This is not a rifle purchased for refinement. It is bought to keep firing when more polished guns start demanding a rest and a cleaning session. Moving forward, the IWI Galil ACE Gen 2 shows how traditional AK reliability looks when paired with modern manufacturing and updated ergonomics. The details matter here, especially the ones that affect real use. In 7.62 NATO, the ACE Gen 2 runs a 16-inch barrel and feeds from a 20-round magazine, not a 25-rounder, while retaining the long-stroke gas piston system that keeps it running when fouling builds. The receiver is rigid and built to absorb abuse, and the free-float handguard with MLOK offers modern mounting without turning the rifle into something fragile. This design comes from a lineage shaped by dusty, unforgiving environments where equipment is dropped, dragged, and neglected, and it reflects that reality. Pricing should also stay grounded. The listed MSRP for the 7.62 NATO Gen 2 sits at $2,179, with typical retail prices landing in the low $2,000 range when supply is stable. It is not inexpensive, but it delivers AK-level dependability with a more contemporary shooting experience, without requiring careful treatment. The IWI Tavor X95 reaches the same goal using a completely different layout. Instead of extending the rifle, it shortens it. The bullpup configuration places the action behind the trigger, allowing full barrel performance in a compact overall length that works well in confined spaces. The X95 commonly comes with a 16.5-inch barrel that is chrome-lined and cold hammer forged, chambered in 5.56 NATO and feeding from standard AR magazines. It uses a long-stroke piston with a rotating bolt, and its reputation for being tank-like comes from more than the piston system alone. The platform is engineered to handle rough handling, awkward positions, and constant movement without shaking itself loose. The compromises are real. Reloads require practice, and the manual of arms is different. But once mastered, the rifle offers full capability in a surprisingly small footprint. Current pricing typically places the X95 between roughly $1,700 and $2,000, depending on version and seller. When stepping into 7.62 NATO power with a modern AR-style layout, the correct reference is the SIG716 G2 Patrol rather than the broader SIG716 name. The G2 Patrol is the piston-driven variant most people mean when discussing reliability in harsh conditions. It uses a short-stroke gas piston system to keep heat and fouling out of the receiver, extending runtime between cleanings. Barrel lengths vary by model, but the Patrol concept prioritizes fighting utility over bench precision, and it carries the expected weight of a serious 308 pattern rifle. Pricing needs clarity here. The used market often places these rifles around the low $1,100 range, depending on condition, while new or scarce examples usually command higher prices when they appear. That difference makes it an interesting value option on the secondary market compared to its original cost. Recoil is straightforward. The rifle is not light, but its purpose is to keep running hard without turning the internals into a carbon sink. The FN/FEL belongs on this list because it reflects a time when rifles were built for national service rather than trends. Today, most buyers are looking at modern FEL pattern rifles, with the DSA SA-58 series being the most common reference instead of original military production. The fundamentals remain unchanged. 7.62 NATO chambering, an adjustable gas system that allows continued function as conditions shift, and a bolt carrier and receiver setup that feels overbuilt by modern lightweight standards. That adjustable gas system is critical as it provides a mechanical solution for fouling, ammunition differences, and harsh environments. In today's market, many SA-58 rifles price out between the mid-$1, 400S and high-$1, 700S, depending on configuration and sales, with certain models climbing higher. It is heavy and long, with no attempt at sleekness, but it remains one of the clearest examples of a battle rifle designed around reliability first. The Springfield Armory M1A stays relevant because its operating system is rooted in old-school durability and still performs today when used with proper understanding. This civilian evolution of the M14 design is chambered in 308 Winchester or 7.62 NATO and uses a long-stroke gas system that keeps heat and fouling forward instead of inside the receiver. The rotating bolt locks solidly, and the operating system carries decades of service history. Pricing is where adjustment matters. Springfield lists MSRP for the standard issue family around the $1,800 to $1,900 range, but real-world pricing frequently comes in lower, often closer to $1,500 to $1,600 depending on finish and availability. That difference matters for a script aimed at viewers who actively shop. The M1A is not a modular platform by modern standards, but if the goal is a 308 battle rifle build around proven function, it still earns its place. At number 2, the FN SIG716 remains the correct choice, with pricing anchored properly. The SIG716 is a 7.62 by 51 rifle using a short-stroke gas piston system with an adjustable regulator, known for surviving harsh environments and sustained firing while remaining lighter than many competitors. The standard commercial barrel length is around 16.25 inches, with overall weight near 8 pounds, which contributes to its handling reputation. FN lists the current MSRP at $3,999, and typical retail pricing often falls from the mid-$3,000s up to around $4,000, depending on demand and configuration. It is undeniably expensive, but was built to meet special operations requirements, and that intent is clear in how it balances durability, reliability, and control. At number 1, the accuracy correction is simple. HK416 refers to the military and law enforcement family, while the realistic civilian counterpart is the HK MR556A1, widely regarded as the commercial expression of the same operating concept. The principle remains unchanged. The short-stroke piston system keeps the bolt carrier group cleaner than direct impingement rifles during high round counts. And the platform is built to the manufacturing standards that made the 416 concept respected in professional use. To keep the script honest, it works best to frame this as the HK416 standard represented in civilian form by the MR556 line. Pricing should reflect reality as well. New MR556A1 rifles commonly sit in the high $2,000 to low $3,000 range, with certain special variants costing significantly more, while MSRP references often land in the mid-$3,000s. This rifle closes the list because the operating system became a benchmark by continuing to function when round counts and environments stopped being forgiving. 8 rifles, 8 distinct solutions, and one shared promise that only matters when conditions fall apart. From Yugoslav steel to modern Israeli piston designs, from classic 308 battle rifles to special operations-inspired platforms, the takeaway is not brand loyalty. It is engineering priorities proven over time. Now it is your turn. If you had to choose one platform to trust when everything fails, frozen, buried, soaked, and filthy, which one would you take and why?